Guys, just fooling around a little bit. Not trying to prove nothing, but just having a little bit of fun with the slide here. Guys, today we're checking out, welcome back by the way, Eric here with Guitarsenal. We're checking out the Strymon Volante. Hopefully we're getting some spacey sounds that make you think that you're sailing through the stratosphere into the nether, okay? That's what we're going for there. Getting a little of our hopes up there in the intro. All right, not bad, guys. I'm going to switch guitars. This is a 1946 Magnetone lap steel. We got it tuned to standard, and that's my first time playing minor keys on a lap steel, so I apologize if I'm a little off on some of the licks there, but trying to pay our David Gilmour a little honor there in the intro. Hopefully not bashing him too bad there. And we've got a nice, you know, beautiful tailing slap back there with the Volante. We're going to dive into this pedal, guys. Let's chase some sounds. This might be a long video. We're going to do this video a little bit differently than what you might be used to from us. Before, we just sort of dove in and went for it when we reviewed the Strymon Timeline, which is another wonderful delay pedal from Strymon. The Volante, the purpose of this pedal, it's meant to be a tape echo / drum echo. So the old Benson Echo Rake operates off of a drum rotor that uses this kind of rotor thing. Obviously stuff like your Roland Space Echo uses a tape, and the older school tape delays give you some really interesting artifacts in the sound that you don't really get with modern delay pedals until now. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Anyway, what we're getting at here, a lot of these controls we'll go over, but you can actually sort of replicate the wear and flutter and some of the just beautiful artifacts that you get out of the old school units. So I'm going to switch guitars. We'll let you hear the signal. What I had going on in the intro there, we had the Strymon Volante set to the settings you see here in the frame, a splash of reverb from the Strymon Flint, and we had the Alfonso Hermida Zen Drive going there with our 46 Magnetone into a 1968 Super Reverb, about a third of the way up. Beautiful sound, I think. Hopefully it recorded nice, other than a few little flubs I made in there. Pretty convincing slide tone there. That's really cool. You could definitely record with that. All right, I'm gonna switch guitars and let's chase some sounds. What we're gonna do in this video, we're gonna go through the instructions together, okay? I'll read them to you, we'll go over the settings, and let's chase some sounds. Join me and let's have some fun. Okay guys, breaking out the telly here. Those are the same settings from before when we had the intro with the lap steel. So I thought I'd let you hear it with a normal guitar, just clean, no overdrive, to let you know kind of where we're at there. And I'll just do some abrupt stops here. Okay, so it can get really crazy depending on how you set it up. We're gonna go through some sounds here. So why don't we just briefly start by going over the controls. After we go over the controls and you guys know what the controls do, and me, because I'm a layman, look, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna be completely 110% honest with you in this video. I love Strymon pedals, and I really love the sound of the Timeline. It is a great pedal, and we did a video on the Timeline where we went through and we just sort of like beat at it like Neanderthals. We're gonna sort of do the same thing in this video, but I'm gonna try to give the benefit of the doubt and read the instructions a little bit for you guys so we can kind of see what's going on. So bear with me, guys. We're going to go over this thing. I want y'all to learn along with me, okay? And it's important. All right, so our knobs, starting, let's see, right there in the center of the pedal, you've got the time knob. I'm just going in order in the instructions here. It controls the delay time at head 4. Heads 1 through 3 subdivide proportionately according to the spacing setting. Delay time varies by selected speed setting, okay? So at half you get 400 milliseconds, Normal, you get 200 milliseconds, which is 2 seconds, and at double, you get 100 milliseconds, which is 1 second. The mechanics knob, it controls the amount of mechanically related speed fluctuations and media irregularities, including friction, creases, splices, and contaminants. So what that means is you're introducing variables into the signal. You know, tapes get dirty, they get wore out, they get demagnetization issues, they get all of these random things that happen. They get creases, they get folds. Sometimes the rollers wear out, the pinch rollers inside of like a Space Echo can wear out, and the unit will still work. It'll just produce these really odd kind of things going on. So you're able to artificially introduce those mechanics into the sound of the Volante. So that's a nod to the original analog tube nature, of the original units. Okay. Record level controls the analog gain of the signal fed into the record head. So the higher the record level, the more distorted the sound will be. So if you're running line level like a keyboard or something, obviously you want to really control that record level to make sure you're not getting distortion if you want it to sound nice and clean. Now if you're wanting it to distort, one of the interesting things about original tape units is that you can bump that drive up if it's especially a tube driven unit like a Echolet or a Benson. You can really, crank that level and get it to kind of distort it, and it almost becomes a sound in of itself in amongst the delay unit itself. All right, low cut. We can see we got low cut down here. Controls the low frequency shaping of the echo repeats, okay? Sometimes you want those repeats to sound glassy. Sometimes you want them to sound muffled. It depends on the type of sound you're going for. If you're recording like this sort of Elvis kind of thing going, where you just want those kind of, Memphis slapback thing going on, it's not going to sound glassy and airy and modern. It's going to sound kind of old school, you know what I mean? Like an old Watkins tape echo or something. The Copycat, I don't know if you've ever heard one, but they've got that, kind of walking blues kind of slapback sound. So you can get it to sound modern or mellow by using the low cut. All right, the wear. The wear knob controls, the wear of the media, which affects the fidelity of the high frequencies, set to minimum for a fresh, full bandwidth sound, okay? So again, getting the high and low artifacts in and out using the wear and the low cut. That's the basic gist that I get from that. We're going to move over to the spacing. It adjusts the spacing between the heads. Turning the knob morphs the heads in between the marked setting. Okay. Now I noticed there are some pretty extreme changes that you can get in the sound of this unit simply by adjusting that spacing. And you see here, it doesn't, silver triplet. Okay, spacing configuration. All right, right here they give you some different setups as to what those spacing configurations do. Okay, silver, golden, triplet, even. So you can get triplets, you can get even notes. I guess those are eighth notes. All right, in the golden, ratio spacing results in a dense, non-overlapping tone, and the silver ratio setting results in non-overlapping repeats biased towards the quarter note. Okay, you have to, kind of hear it to know what's going on. All right, repeats controls the feedback amount for the heads that have their feedback enabled. Okay, so those feedback knobs are the ones that are lit up on the lower end of the spectrum right here. These buttons, that's your feedback, this is your playback. And we're going to experiment with these in just a moment, okay? That's what they're talking about. Echo level sets the overall delay signal level sent to the output. Spring controls the output mix of the integrated spring reverb tank, and reverb is applied after echo, which means that the reverb is applied to the echo repeats, the actual echo, which is cool. All right, that's your knobs. We're going to go on to the buttons and switches. Guys, there's a lot of bells and whistles this thing will do. I mean, look at this. It's an entire, entire manual of stuff here. I think for the purposes of today's video, and what we're trying to do is let you hear this thing. I know y'all want me to shut up and hear what's going on. We're going to briefly go over basically just the playback buttons, since that's, and the dipper switches. Okay, and we also have our foot control. There are quite a few things to go over. I mean, guys, in a nutshell, this thing has everything from tap echo. This knob here on the right, you can control like your tap echo. You can store favorites. You can turn the unit on and off. You can switch it over to a reverse delay. It's got USB port where you can add, all kind of fun stuff. You can hook it up to your computer and control it via MIDI controls. You have stereo ins and outs, an instrument and line level switch mode. Right now we have it set to instrument. You have MIDI control in and out, 9-volt power, and it gives instructions in here for factory reset. That's pretty straight to the point. Let's go over the playback heads. Playback heads select which of the individual playback heads are engaged. Okay, press and hold for 1 second to toggle between half and full volume. Guys, in a nutshell, this thing is completely customizable to get exactly the sound you want. This is a tinkerer's type pedal that once you dial in each sound, you can really get them the way you want, and it's killer. Okay, this thing sounds super legit. We're going to go over some sounds in a moment. The type, which is the dipper switch to the left here. The type selects between 3 available magnetic media types. The drum is a steel wire spinning platter. Atmospheric echoes emphasize the low mid frequencies and will saturate with hot signals or high feedback. And the drum is where we have it set for the intro. Reason being is because David Gilmour uses a Benson Echo Rec, and I knew that the drum setting was closer to what a Benson Echo Rec is supposed to sound like. I mean, guys, the face of the pedal's black. The color is that kind of baby puke yellow color or whatever. So guys, it's meant to look like a Benson Echo Rec for a reason. Okay, the tape setting, magnetic tape used in vintage echo machines, warm tape response with moderately clean and airy signal path. I would say RE201 territory would be, to my ear, what they're going for with that. Studio is a clean studio grade tape used in reel-to-reel units. Obviously more of a console style, studio unit. Speed, okay? Speed affects the fidelity and mechanical response of the selected type. Changing the speed switch will also result in a proportional change to the delay range of the time knob. And those settings are full, normal, and double. I think it's clear to say that we've gone over enough of the instructions. Let's chase a few sounds. I'm going to cut and kind of, cut and paste this video as we chase these sounds. I tell you what, let's start on the low end of the spectrum. Let's get one tape head going. Let's get a nice sort of Memphis slapback and see what we can get there. Let's do that. All right, here's a single play head with no feedback. We got our low cut up, our wear up a bit. We got those mechanics driven in a bit to give us some nice artifacts. Record an echo level relatively even, a splash of spring reverb. We got it set to the triplet setting, and we are on the studio reel-to-reel sound at half speed. Let's give this a listen, all right? See what we can get. Convincing slapback sound. All right, let's go further down the rabbit hole, shall we? right, so there we had some really cool stuff going on. We set up a nice kind of, let's see, we had these tape heads. We had a bit of a feedback there in the middle of the tape heads. So we got sort of like this kind of rhythmic thing going on, kind of like this. All right, so we had that going. Then I got rid of that and switched to this. All right, and we did the... All right, then I got rid of that first playback head, left all the settings where they were, and then we had a bit of a tail off, and it kind of sounded kind of like this. Pretty cool. So when you have that last tape head engaged, especially with the feedback setting on there, it sort of tails off. So you get the real note doesn't ever really decay or delay, it kind of comes later. Okay, so remember, this is time-based. So these particular playback heads are going to be abrupt or late depending on how you set them. So if I want both, I can just get the feedback going, I'll get my abrupt slap back, and I'll get this weird tail off. And they all have different rhythmic patterns. You have to kind of dial them in. So let's give this one a listen just as it sets and just see what it inspires me to do. Let's see what we get. Okay, so we got that initial, and you heard the late one. Okay, let's listen to that again. Okay, so you can get some of those things going on. Or if you want to go, I don't know, like a... Or if you want to get some ambience with a setting like that, you could go full Monty. We've got the delay, you know, the feedback going there. We could just let some chords ring out and get that sort of, ambience sort of thing going on. If we want to ring some, big airy chords out on the bridge pickup of a Telecaster and get sort of the, notice when I've got the first tape head engaged, it's just an abrupt tail off. It's very slap back like where we've got it set. So this thing can get spacey or real basic depending on how you want it, set up. And of course, all of those settings can be stored in your favorites block. Okay, right here we've got this just beautiful, airy kind of, just basic delay sound right here. Let's give it a listen. Beautiful. All right. I love it and I want to save it. So I should be able to hold this down. Turns blue. We're going to assign it to 1. Now we're set. Now if we want to recall that, all right, let's get this other setting that we had that gave us our tail off all the way on the bottom end of the playheads with the feedback. Let's give that a quick listen. All right, notice you hear the initial and the tail off. All right, we like that. We want to save it. Hold it down. All right, turns blue. We're going to set that to number 2. All right, now I can recall either of these by hitting this. Hit it twice or hold it down. Oh, there we go. All right, now we're on the single pass setting like this. Or I can hit this, hit 2. Now we're on 2. Now the settings have to be manually gone through in terms of a preset. So if I want to make a quick change, not exactly quick, you do have to select it, but it is nice to know that your 8 favorite settings are just a click away. So that's pretty cool. All right. Let's engage some different rhythmic bodies here. Let's get sort of towards the middle of these playback heads. And let's get up to the drum setting. And we'll set the speed to double. We'll see what this gives us. And let's set the spacing to golden. So drum and golden should give us a relatively Benson Echo Rec type sound. We'll see what this sounds like. And guys, this video could be hours long if we really wanted to chase sounds. I'm trying to give you guys an idea what this thing can do. Bear with me. I hope you're, learning something from this video and having fun. Maybe we're making some cool sounds here. All right, let's see what this inspires and just go from there. Okay? That's giving us almost sort of this reverb-like sound going on there. That's pretty cool with the feedback. Let's dial in all 4 tape heads, and let's only have the initial head and the trail-off head feedback. And let's set it to the silver setting, which will give us a more glassy and high-fidelity setting. Let's get our reverb kind of up a bit. Leave everything where it's set in terms of the overall sound. Let's get that wear up a bit. Get our mechanics down so we get more of a straight-up glassy sound. This should give us a much more glassy and organic type of sound. And this is going to sound pretty crazy. Let's just give it a listen. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got. So you see there, I can just do what I want. We can come up with all kind of inspiring things and just sort of go for it. I'm trying to give you an idea of what this thing can do. So guys, hopefully, we're getting there. Let's get the spacing to even. This should be the least amount of artifacts. Let's get our wear low, our low cut kind of low. Let's turn the mechanics down all the way. Leave the record level and echo set about where it's at. Get a little bit of spring reverb going in there. That's only on the repeats. Get this down to half. Get our studio setting. We haven't listened to the tape setting. Let's listen to that. Let's get our time up a little bit. And let's engage just the first tape head with maximum feedback. Let's see how this sounds. This should be a glassy and high fidelity type of delay sound. I'm going to clear my loop. I like to have my loop pedal sort of just on standby in case you never know when we want to just play with something like we just did. Maybe it sounded good, maybe it didn't, but hey, we're exploring here, right? This is sonic exploration. Our drive sounds are coming from a Nobles Overdrive Special, by the way. All right, let's give this a listen. That should be very glassy and very kind of modern sounding, right? Very pretty, I hope, Guys, you can really go down the rabbit hole with this pedal, okay? We're not going to bore you guys anymore, hopefully. I'm not trying to endlessly noodle, but I'm trying to give you an idea of what this guy can sound like. Let's dial in that long tail off. I tell you what, yeah, let's do that, and let's get to the drums. Let's leave it to the tape setting, and get over to the silver side. Spring, we'll get our echo, kind of about where it's at, get that wear up a bit. Get some flutter and mechanics in there. Guys, I'm going to let y'all get back to your day. I really appreciate you taking a sonic journey with me today with the Strymon Volante. It's always such an inspiring pedal. It inspires you to write and come up with ideas and to come up with tunes. And this really is a great pedal. And I don't know if this one's going to be going back to Atlanta Discount. I think I may have to procure this one, but don't worry, they have more. These things have been a little bit difficult to procure. I was going to get one right when they first came out, but Jimmy up there was telling me, hey, we sold the last one, and we kept going through that. They finally was able to have one in stock that I could take and check out for y'all. Really, really great pedal. If you are a tape echo nerd, this is the pedal for you. Just going to say that. So guys, thank you so much for the support. We post every Monday and Friday here on Guitarsenal. I know this was a long one. I appreciate you bearing with me on this. We hope you learned something. I know this is a long video, but thank you very much just the same. We'll see you next time. Many more videos on the way. I'll make a little bit more noise here for you. We've been using the Nobles. How about the Vertex Ultraphonics here for the outro, and we'll get a nice spacey lead sound going on. And we're just going to play some Alien Blues for you on the way out, and we'll see how it turns out. Thank you very much. We'll see you guys next time. All right, here we go. Ultraphonics, go. Here we go.